It's a packed house here at Wake Competition Center in Morrisville, North Carolina. Chris Lehman with you as we get set for a big tilt between the North Carolina Tar Heels and the NC State Ice Pack. North Carolina coming off of a successful weekend at the Elite Junior Profile Showcase, going 2-1 with a close loss to East Texas Baptist, sandwiched around a couple of wins against Denison and against Lewis University. This is a team that looked really strong coming out of the gates in those 3 games. Great forecheck, really good on special teams, and they're going to need all of that tonight as they take on a power-packed NC State lineup. This is easily the best team that the Tar Heels will see throughout this season, and they're going to see them 4 times. So part 1 of 4 coming up here tonight. It's going to be a great one as we get our first look at a full house here at Wake Competition Center. I was able to sit down and talk with head coach Jeff Volkman of the Tar Heels yesterday to talk a little bit about what's coming up with this game. We also talked a little bit about last weekend and what he liked about his team's performance, and we've got that coming up here in just a few minutes. We're going to step aside for just a moment. When we come back, I'll be talking with head coach Jeff Volkman. We've got North Carolina and NC State hockey coming up here shortly.
Welcome back to pregame coverage of the North Carolina Tar Heels ACCHL opener against the NC State Ice Pack. Chris Lehman back with head coach Jeff Volkman as we get ready for what should be a pretty big match, Coach. Before we get into that, though, let's take a look at last weekend. You open up your season going 2-1 in that Elite Junior Profile Showcase. What were your thoughts? How did you feel coming out of that weekend? You know, you go 2-1, have the lead in that one loss as well in the third period. So how did it feel to get the guys out there for the first time in a while?
It was incredible. You know, the guys have been off for about, almost 2 years, and so they were excited. So, the tone was go out there and, kind of earn your spot. And, we were looking for chemistry out there, and indeed we saw a lot of good things. And that's precisely what we were looking for. We weren't worried about the win or loss column coming out of there. 2-1 was great. And we had, like you said, we had a great, game against East Texas where we almost pulled that one off. But the more important thing is we're just trying to see the skill set of our players and see how they fit together.
Well, and you talked about chemistry. One group of guys that we didn't see, the fresh faces that I thought had some pretty good chemistry, were Leighton Walsh, Henry Foster, and Misha Sabodin. I thought those guys hadn't really seen them a lot, but they looked pretty good that weekend.
Yeah, that they were not a surprise to me. I got to watch them last year in practice. We had a lot of practice and we did a lot of bonding. So that was the positive thing of COVID last year and coming together. So, our systems and those three had chemistry. We actually put David Mahan and who we have? We had David Mahan, Leighton, and Henry Foster as a line. And we had them together a little bit last year as well. and the expectation was high, and they came in and they dominated. They were the highest performing line all weekend, and we were super pleased with the performance. Just the first weekend without playing games.
Yeah, and one thing that I noticed as well was with those four that you mentioned there in particular was special teams, particularly the power play. I thought looked really, really good for your first weekend. How much have you guys worked on the power play and the penalty kill for that matter? You get a couple of shorthanded goals as well, but special teams in general, how much work has gone into that? Because it looks really good.
We actually put a lot of work into it, and it showed. A lot of off ice video. And meetings, to kind of tie that together. We did work on it a little bit on the ice and tie that in and to complement. But, it's the skill set. We're developing good habits in practice. Just the behaviors, the attitudes, the effort in practice was phenomenal. And, we tie in a lot of the systems and strategy off the ice so they come in and they can use their creativity and it showed. I was incredibly pleased. The assistant coaches were really surprised with the performance, but that was definitely our strong suit, and we're really happy moving into Friday, obviously.
Yeah, and speaking of Friday, you were tested a little bit certainly last weekend. Probably going to have one of your bigger tests of the season here coming up in this Friday night tilt against the Ice Pack. It's going to be a pretty interesting environment. Their first time really being able to host a full crowd at Weight Competition Center. Should be a pretty good environment. And of course, you played them at PNC, but what kind of challenges is that environment going to give you as you head over into what should be a pretty hostile environment?
Yeah, I mean, the guys actually, we encourage that. We thrive off that. They feed off the fans, to go in and to hear the boo birds, and obviously the house is going to lean towards NC State. But these guys come from the makeup of our team. They're coming from big time programs, so they've been on this stage before, and there's a lot of maturity even with our younger players. And the culture of our locker room is one of the best I've ever seen coming into this year. So mentally we feel pretty strong. There's no hidden secrets coming in that we are the enemy coming in. We're in enemy territory, and we have to use that, as a positive asset to help us perform and give us energy.
So what's kind of the approach to this game that you guys are taking, particularly considering the fact you play this NC State team a few more times after this as well?
Yeah, I mean, we got to hit them hard, hit them fast, right? And what I mean by that is not physically. We gotta put one away soon, and we got to deflate them early, deflate the crowd. That's definitely going to be our strategy coming in. We're gonna play a speed game. I'm sure they've watched the pregame or the video, the pre-scout on our weekend. We obviously have a lot of speed. We're going to come at you hard and take away your time and space. So it's not going to be an easy task for them from what they faced in years past. But I think, from a coaching perspective, and it's getting on the board early and getting that goal or two up would be very beneficial throughout this game.
So what are you hoping to? Obviously, this is going to be a really hard-fought game. You want to see what your guys have in this one. What are the takeaways? What are you hoping to get out of this game for your team here early in the season as you get ready to really get into play?
Yeah, it's so early. We have our identity, and we know what we want out of our players, and we've set expectations, but we're still testing the waters. The players, we had one weekend to see these guys, and now we're putting them in a little bit different environment, and so it's just a part of the growth and the process. There's going to be no panic buttons whether we win or lose. We're not going to get overconfident if we win. We're not going to hit the panic button if we lose. We just want to see how we're still building off chemistry. We're still building off, one of the important pillars of our culture, the brotherhood. But we want our team to be gritty. And what I mean by that is, perseverance. We want to focus on the long term and the grind of the season. And this is this is a great schedule for us to face a top nationally ranked team right away. It's a good test. It's a good baseline. Puts things in perspective. So we'll use that, and we'll get through the weekend, and we'll talk about the weekend on Monday.
Chris Lehman alongside head coach Jeff Volkman of the Tar Heel ice hockey team. One last question is, as you head into the locker room tonight for the game, before you head out onto the ice for period number 1, what's the message to your guys as they get ready to take the ice?
You know, I really send the message. We prepare the guys in practice. My message is going to be they're ready. And, you know, I believe in them. I have all the confidence in the world. But really the message is going to be, I'm not going to be aware of what the message is, because I'm a firm believer. I give the locker room to my leaders and my team. I'll be out of the locker room with about 5 or 6 minutes left. That's when they bring it together. They're the guys that have to perform. You know, we prepare them. We give them all the tools. We strategize. But, you know, we have great leaders this year, great captains. So it'll be interesting to hear what the message is going to be from them. I have an idea, but from us, it's just going to be go out, have fun, play your game, you know, and you guys are ready. You're prepared, and you know, we got to keep it simple at this point.
All right, Coach. Well, thanks for taking some time here to talk before the game, and good luck against NC State.
Yeah, thanks, Chris.
That's head coach Jeff Volkman of the Tar Heels. We're going to step aside here for a moment. We'll be back just about ready to get things rolling between the UNC Tar Heels and the NC State Ice Pack. Welcome back to pregame coverage of the North Carolina Tar Heels ACCHL opener against the NC State Ice. Welcome back to pregame coverage of the North Carolina Tar Heels ACC. Welcome back to pregame coverage of the North Carolina Tar Heels ACCHL opener against the NC State.
Welcome back to Wake Competition Center here in Morrisville, North Carolina. Chris Lehman with you as you get a look at Derek Wittenberg, the former NC State basketball player. You might recognize the name. He'll be dropping the first puck here tonight, as you see the Tar Heels with Noah Friedman out there, along with the captain of the Ice Pack, Eric Todd, for that ceremonial puck drop as we get things started here very shortly. A lot of fanfare here. Got a lot of people in the seats. We talked to head coach Tim Healy of the Ice Pack earlier. Just about sold out even before you get walk-ups for people coming in who haven't pre-ordered tickets. So a packed house here at Wake Competition Center as we get set for these two teams to go and play some hockey. It's going to be a great one tonight. For the Tar Heels, got to get a good forecheck going, got to get in on the power play as well and exploit the pack that way. But they're set for the national anthem. So we'll step aside for just a minute. When we come back, it'll be puck drop here at Wake Competition Center. We are back at the Wake Competition Center. Chris Lehman with you as we get set for your North Carolina Tar Heels to take on the NC State Wolfpack. You can see it there. North Carolina 2-1 coming into this one. Beat Denison in their season opener as part of the Elite Junior Profiles Showcase last weekend. Fell in a tight one against East Texas Baptist, who this NC State team, though, it was a pretty different team for the Tigers this season. It was a team that NC State beat last year. It was a tight 6-5 loss for the Tar Heels, who had the lead in the third period of that game, and then a win against Lewis University to finish off the weekend. Tough test coming up here against NC State. We'll get to the keys of the game as we get started. NC State wins the opening faceoff. They're going to control it up the left wing. Eric Todd, kick to the middle, looking for Riley Johnson off his skate. Daniel Jones will take over for the Tar Heels and clear it back to neutral ice. Sent right back to Jones. He turns it over. Johnson trying to fight his way through some traffic, can't do it, and it's chipped into the corner. There for it, Gleason trying to backhand it up the wall for Beeson, but it's taken away by Riley Johnson. Over to the wall, one-timer, stopped by Douthit and chipped up into the netting, and that'll be a face-off in the Carolina zone. Well, now we get a chance to take a look at the keys to the game for the Tar Heels here tonight. There are a couple things that they got to do well. The first and foremost is the forecheck. Of course, you got to get into the offensive end to be able to forecheck, but they had a lethal forecheck last weekend that really helped propel them to a couple of wins last weekend. But that's going to have to be fierce. They're going to have to put a lot of pressure on the pack and not give them a lot of time to work with the puck in this hockey game. Up the far wall, here's a chance for the Tar Heels on the break on a turnover, but retreating for it, Alex James will clear it back to neutral ice. Scooped up by Henry Foster. Foster has it knocked off of his stick. Be collected in that left corner by the Ice Pack. Kicked around behind. Colby Peterson looking back to the point, threw some skates and all the way down to Eric Daniel, the starting netminder for the Ice Pack tonight. One other thing that's going to be a key for the Tar Heels here tonight is their goaltending. Will Douthit, last time this Tar Heel team took the ice for a season, he was the ACCHL Goalie of the Year, and rightfully so. When he is on his game, he is really hard to beat. Going to have to be that way tonight. First shot, or second shot, I should say, handled nicely from the top of the left circle. That one coming off the stick of Parker Zarek. And we'll get another offensive zone faceoff for the Ice Pack. Not quite a minute and a half gone. NC State controlling play right now. That's something the Tar Heels are going to have to get used to a bit in this game. NC State, a lot of skill on this team. Went to nationals last year. Not only went to nationals, but essentially made their way to what you could consider the Final Four in D2 Nationals last year, and they've returned a lot of experience from that team, and they've added to it. So this is going to be a really tough test for the Tar Heels here tonight, and they're going to need some help in goal. They're going to need Douthit to steal some to keep them in this hockey game and give them a chance to pull off the upset in front of a packed house here at Wake Competition Center. Up the left wing come the Ice Pack. It's Alex Fong into the corner, cycles it behind the net. Daniel Jones sweeps it around and out, but it's still NC State puck. Charles Monteith, D-to-D pass, left along the wall, nobody there in a black jersey. The Tar Heels take over. Gleason looking through the middle. He's got Hogan. We did not see Brian Hogan last weekend. Coach really likes the way he's looked in practice, though, and he's a smart guy as well. The reason we didn't see him last weekend, he had some really long interviews for medical school. Here's a chance for the Tar Heels. In quickly, and a save made by Daniel. A good chance there for North Carolina's Ben Reese. And the first test for Eric Daniel. So we get an offensive zone face-off here, and this is where the Tar Heels can really go to work. They got a great forecheck if they can get it established, but it's going to be quickly broken out by the Ice Pack. Zach Robinson down the left wing. He's going to shovel it behind. Chases it down himself around the corner, sent out in front, nobody there. Still a loose puck, pinballing through that offensive zone for NC State. Into the left corner they go again. It'll be collected, top of the circle by Emery Oliver. He'll throw it caddy corner. And the Ice Pack keep it in. They'll change some bodies. Down along the wall, pitchfork back in, batted down by a North Carolina defender. NC State holds it at the blue line, though. Up the wall, skips off a stick. This one's going to trickle all the way down, and it'll be icing. Tar Heels were the last to touch it, and so they're going to have to keep some tired bodies out on the ice. 16:42 to go here in period number one. Still looking for our first goal. And if you're North Carolina, that's our third key. Got to score first. You get a look at it. You can see the crowds around the net. It's also an absolutely packed stands across the way from us. So it is going to absolutely blow the top off this place if NC State scores first. And you don't want that if you're North Carolina. It'll be Friedman to take the draw up against Zarek. And it's Zarek winning it back for the Pack. Johnson trying to swing one on net. Deflects wide off a skate. Back behind. Jones can't handle for the Tar Heels, but he's got some help there. First one to it was Carter Tanner trying to clear it up that far wall. Couldn't. Back to the point. Now the Ice Pack in control. Victor Hugo sends it around the boards. Tracked down by Eric Todd. He'll be pinned against the wall by Jones. Chipped out by Zarek, back to the point. They try to hold the zone. Alex James does so momentarily, but now he'll have to retreat to his own blue line with it. Pestered by Friedman. Lined up and knocked down. Big hit for the Tar Heels to slow down the attack, but NC State still going right at it. Todd loses his stick. Chance now here for North Carolina to bring it in, and Friedman dumps it deep. Here's a chance to see the forecheck from North Carolina. Pitchforked in by Beeson. That one's into the netting. Untouched and not a shot, so this will come out of the zone for a neutral zone face-up. We'll get another look at the hit here, and it was nicely lined up. Friedman pinned his man to the boards there. That was James, and then he got some help from Beeson to knock him down. But some good physical play there from North Carolina out the gate. NC State wins the draw. They'll chip it in and chase. Peterson has it. This is the top line for the Ice Pack. Is that one deflected just wide? Maybe another chance brewing here for NC State. From a bad angle, shouldered down by Douthit. He'll hold on. That was Peterson with the shot. Now, we don't have the shot counter going right now, but it is certainly tilted towards the Ice Pack right now. Another look at this chance, and that was a really tight one. Chris Solomon just couldn't quite tip it on goal. And it stays scoreless here at Wake Competition Center. Tar Heels going to break it out into neutral ice. Mahan first to it. He'll chip it deep. Leighton Walsh going to chase after it. First one to it, though, is the D-man Jackson Cowan of NC State. He'll wrap it around the wall. Wills Kendrick Holmes holds the blue line for the moment. Chipped back in. And now to be cleared all the way down. Walsh going to be the first to it for the Tar Heels, but no icing on the play, so we continue. Ice Pack in control. Circling with it. Round in front, chipped back behind, and Tar Heels can't clear it out. Again, they go to work. That's Solomon. Dispossessed. Foster trying to move around him. Can't do so. And the Tar Heels just going to have to clear this one all the way down, and we're going to have another icing call. And this is a pattern you can't get stuck in if you're UNC. Second icing we've seen on them here in the first 5 minutes and change. But because you can't switch out bodies, you're going to have some tired legs out there if you're NC State. And there's not a line that can't take advantage of that for NC State. Another offensive zone draw for the Ice Pack. They win it. Turnaround shot. Skitters wide off the stick of Garrett-Arini. And NC State continues on the attack. Stolen away. Looking for Foster up the middle. He's going to be hauled down. And play will continue. No call. Foster in on the forecheck. Nice little hit. Knocks the puck loose, but can't come away with it. Now Ricky Frosch looking up that far wall. Chipped right back in by the Tar Heels. That was Josh Carlson who gets it deep. Foster in on the forecheck. Disrupts the play. Carlson shovels it back in. It'll be collected there by Miles Ferrone. Ferrone dispossessed. Tar Heels getting their first significant zone time now. Back to the point. Saboden finds a teammate there in Tanner. Tees one up. Can't put it on goal. And it'll be wrapped back in by Graham Karen. Getting some help from Simon Malone. Back to the point. Tanner. Awkward bounce in front. Loose puck in the crease, and the Tar Heels can't put it home. A great chance there for UNC. Just an unexpected tip. And now the Ice Pack back the other way. And they come. The shot. Big save by Douthit. That was Garrett-Arini in on the breakaway. Back and forth they go. Some good action early. Now it's the Tar Heels' turn. Misha Saboden. Saboden will bring it in. Finds a teammate there in Hogan. Behind the net. Spins it in front. Nobody there. One-timer from Gleason. Hits a body in front. And now NC State carries it back out once again. Drew Breshingham. He's going to throw one on goal. Douthit challenging it nicely. Will swallow up the rebound, and we'll see another face-off. We're going to get another look at this chance down in front, or this breakaway chance for NC State. A nice job by Douthit. Stayed strong. Kept his pads down, covered everything low, and did not give Arini anything to shoot at low, and he couldn't elevate the backhander. So now it'll be Hogan to take the draw for the Tar Heels. Can't win it, and now we're going to get a quick whistle. Looks like we had a hand pass there, and faceoff will come right back into the North Carolina end. 13:06 to go in period number 1. Pretty good action so far, still looking for the first goal. Bouncing puck into the far corner. Daniel Jones the first there for UNC. It'll be pinned up against the half wall. Malone comes away with it, can't get it out though. Kept in by Victor Hugo, one of the alternate captains for this Ice Pack team. Big hit in the near corner, jars the puck loose. Tar Heel shot from, Ice Pack shot from the point, tipped wide. And it'll be carried back behind. North Carolina coming up with possession up the near side. Off the boards, Gleason finds Ben Reese, who chips it in. All by himself as the rest of his team off for a change. He's going to be quickly knocked off the puck. And NC State turns it back out. It's the freshman Alex James. Loses it in the skates of Friedman. Loose puck in the neutral zone. It's James the first to it. And he'll go back to his D partner, Hugo. Hugo up the near side. Pass stolen away by Kramer. Loose puck will be collected by the Tar Heels. Parker Zarek brings it in.
down the left wing. Throws it from a bad angle, up and over. Kept in over on the far side by Eric Todd. Battle at the blue line. Won by NC State. Riley Johnson turns on the motor and zips a shot up over top of the glove side of Will Douthit. They'll fight for it along the wall. Held in by Jackson Cowan. Stolen away, though, and now Kramer will get it deep for the Tar Heels. Daniel out to sweep it around the wall. And here's a chance for NC State to move out with space. It's Riley Johnson. He's going to challenge Ian Reeves around him. Sends it to the front. Off a blocker, tipped out of the air. They scored. NC State gets the first one off a rebound. 1-0. Well, we'll wait to see here as you get a look at the replay. Riley Johnson brings it in and just from a bad angle throws it at the net. Looks like it's going to be Parker Sarek out of midair, putting that one in the back of the net. And the goaltender going to get some credit on that one as well. I believe Eric Daniel will get the second assist. And just like that, 1-0 Ice Pack. A little over 8 minutes in, they're going to go right back on the attack as they put some pressure on the Tar Heels trying to break it out. Leighton Walsh trying to kick it along behind the net. Loses his footing, loses the puck. NC State still with it. Cowan throws one towards the net. Hit a body in front, deflected wide, back out in front, and they score again. This time it's Peterson. The goals come 23 seconds apart, and it's 2-0 Ice Pack. But I'm not sure who the assist will go to on that one. Colby Peterson, the goal scorer. And if you're North Carolina, you got to settle things down here. NC State smelling blood, though. Cowan brings it in. He'll look to the middle. One-timer, not there. Backhander towards the net. A lot of traffic in front. Puck still loose in the low slot. And it'll be tipped away, and now the Tar Heels are able to chip it out in the neutral ice. Cowan sends it right back in, though. Tar Heels looking to break out. Gleason. His pass over to Saboden taken away. It'll be carried in by Matt Miller. Back behind the wall, around to the corner for Alex Robinson. He's knocked down and loses the puck. Tar Heels just looking for some time and space behind their own net. Daniel Jones looking to spring a man. That pass to the neutral zone. A stretch pass attempt is broken up. Simon Malone had some space behind the D. And they just couldn't get it to him. Not quite halfway through period number one. Now a couple of quick goals for NC State has made it 2-0 in the last minute. Jones, D-to-D behind his net with Kendrick Holmes. He'll bank it off the wall. Tipped away, though, into the middle of the ice. Tar Heels first to it. And they'll clear it out to the red line. Turned right back by Ferrone. He's going to carry it in. The defenseman into the left corner. Looking to swat it around behind. A couple of Tar Heels there to shut that down for the moment. Loose puck in the slot. Picked up by UNC. And it'll be carried out now by Brian Hogan with some speed down the right wing. Has it knocked off his stick nicely. And a good back check from Alex Robinson. Ice Pack get it out. Icing waved off. Well, we'll get a whistle now. And it looks like we're going to have, I believe, an offsides call there on NC State. And this will come out to the top of the North Carolina zone. 9:36 to go in period number one. If you're just joining us, it was only a couple minutes ago in playing time that we saw 2 goals in 23 seconds from NC State to take this 2-0 lead. Now it's the Tar Heels trying to get in on the attack. Hogan throws it at the net, steered away by Daniel. Hogan back on it, looking to chip it out in front. Quickly stolen away by Drew Breshingham. And a big hit at the blue line on Ian Reeves. And now a retaliation by Reeves. He's going to get called for the penalty. So they've got a delayed call coming. Daniel to the bench. It's 6-on-5 for the Ice Pack. Frosch at the blue line. He'll chip it down into the corner and behind the net. Looking out in front, nobody there. This one's going to skitter all the way down. Riley Johnson, or pardon me, Eric Todd will chase it down. And reset. Still 6-on-5. You see the empty net there. As the Ice Pack look to carry it out, Victor Hugo up the ice for Zark. He opened the scoring. He'll carry it down the right wing. Banked off the wall to Johnson. He'll tee up a slapper from the blue line. It's off a body and out, and they're going to blow the whistle now And it's going to be a cross-checking penalty against Ian Reeves. So a 2-minute man advantage here for NC State. But that's something you can't do if you're the Tar Heels. We've talked about how good their power play was last weekend. You can expect this to be a pretty strong power play for NC State as well. Now, worth noting, this Tar Heel team scored 2 shorthanded goals last weekend, a couple of nice ones as well. It was Leighton Walsh who did the damage shorthanded for the Tar Heels. Looks like we got a little bit of a clock management problem here. There's an extra 5 minutes up on the board to go along with the 2-minute penalty, but I think they're just going to ignore it up there on the scoreboard because there is a 2-minute clock up there as well. It will be 2 minutes for cross-checking. I think the officials making that clear to everybody on the ice. And it'll be a 2-minute power play for NC State. They win the draw and control. Cross ice pass as they set up the power play. Zarek looking to the middle. Finds a man in the right circle. That shot hit his stick and deflected up over top. Chris Solomon had that shot. Gets it back again. Across for Zarek. He'll look things over. Holding in that left corner. Chips it down below the goal line. Gets it right back. Zarek, the quarterback on this man advantage. He'll drop it back to the point for Hugo. Over. And the shot from Solomon is high and wide. Back to Zarek on the near wall. Tar Heels trying to clear. Walsh trying to work it out, but can't. 40 seconds gone on the man advantage for NC State. Hugo back at the point again. Looking things over as he walks the line. Leaves it for Zarek. Back to Hugo. One-timer wide. Off the wall. Back out in front. Pass into the slot. Stolen away by Foster. And he'll clear it out for the Tar Heels for a momentary reprieve. NC State turns it right back in. Riley Johnson leaves it for Solomon. Back to Hugo. Top of the umbrella. His shot blocked nicely. That was Brian Hogan getting in the way. Shot from the top of the right circle this time. Solomon makes the stop. Or Solomon takes the shot. Douthit makes the stop. And we'll get another look here at this NC State power play. The one-time chance. Off the wall, and with the lack of follow-through from Hugo on that, I think that was more of a slap pass off the wall. He was looking for Solomon coming down that right wing, and the timing just wasn't quite right. Tar Heels control off the draw on their own end, down to 45 seconds on the man advantage for NC State as it trickles out into neutral ice. Hogan putting some pressure on the NC State power play. That was Alex Robinson, and he actually takes it away and dumps it deep. 30 seconds to go on the power play. Lugged up the middle by Alex James. Over to that right wing. It'll be carried in there by Matt Miller. Miller button hooks. Looks to the middle, and it's chipped just wide by Riley Johnson. Back into the corner. Solomon now looking for Peterson. He'll carry it behind again. Back around to that right wall. Up top for Alex James. Throws one through traffic. Doesn't get to the net. And now Gleason will clear it up for Kramer, who slaps it out. That should finish off the penalty to Ian Reeves for cross-checking as we're back to full strength. NC State still on the attack, though. Nice hit from Kramer to knock his man off the puck, but he can't get back to that rubber disc. And it'll be kept in by the ice pack. Along the blue line now, Alex James. Curl and drag, can't put it on frame. And it trickles back behind the North Carolina net. Again to James. He'll walk the blue line. Finds a teammate Miller over on the far side. He snipes one from the top of the right circle. Beautiful finish by Matt Miller. And it's 3-0 Tar Heel, or 3-0 Ice Pack. NC State right back to work on the offensive end, even though the power play came to an end about a minute and a half earlier. They pick up their third goal here in the first period, and they have a commanding 3-0 lead. Center ice face-off, Leighton Walsh to take it up against Drew Breshingham. It's Walsh winning it initially, but the Ice Pack going to very quickly get back control. and go back on the attack. Behind the net, Emery cycled around along the near wall. It'll be taken by Ricky Frosch at the blue line. His pass intercepted, chipped up through neutral ice, and the Tar Heels will bring it in, but they're offsides. Foster going to argue, but I think that was the right call. It was just a little bit behind the blue line on the pass, and it was Mahan and Walsh coming in offsides. That was unfortunate. Could have been a really good scoring chance there for North Carolina. And they'll have to win the draw. They advance it into the NC State zone to the Tar Heels, but it's the Ice Pack in control up the near wall. Saboden doing a nice job getting it back deep. He's got a teammate there in Malone. Coming over to help out is Carlson. Swept around the boards. It'll be chased down by Miles Ferrone of the Ice Pack defense. He's going to retreat with it. Good hit from Carlson in that far corner. It'll be worked around for Ricky Frosch, looking to break it out. Forces it into the neutral zone where it can be carried up by Breshingham down the left wing. Looking for a centering pass. It's not there. Drop back to Solomon at the blue line, and he'll chip it in and knock his man down. A couple of bodies tumbling over on the near wall. It's going to be chipped out for Saboden. He's got a man on him as he brings it into the zone. Dispossessed by Solomon. Has it knocked off his stick, though, and here come the Tar Heels. It's Hogan into that far corner. Drop back to the blue line, out of the reach of Gleason. And Douthit going to have to come out to play it for UNC. Backhanded up the near wall. Jones furthers it along. And the Ice Pack send it right back in. Gleason on it for UNC. Up for Hogan. He'll chip it off the wall, and here's a chance for Reese coming in. He's got some help coming in through the middle. That one's off the pipe. Rebound bouncing in the slot, and the Tar Heels can't get a stick to it. It'll be held in at the blue line by Gleason. Best chance of the game so far for the Tar Heels. It was Ben Reese off that left post. Voracek working strong here for the Tar Heels, though. Hogan in there along with Reese and Vaglia. Now Johnson for the Ice Pack, trying to backhand it up the wall, having some trouble moving it. But he gets back control and chips it out for Solomon. He'll lift it past Jones and in. Tar Heels will retreat for it. It's Gleason behind his own net. He finds Reese. Up the wall for Jones. He banks it out into neutral ice, but right to Colby Peterson. And NC State back in control. Cowan throws it into his own bench. And we'll get a face-off after the stoppage of play. 3:34 to go in the first period. It's a 3-0 lead for NC State. The floodgates kind of opened there a bit after the first 9 or so minutes. There was 2 goals in 23 seconds for NC State. Then they drew a penalty a couple minutes later, and just after it finished, they were able to put one home and add to that 2-0 lead. Tar Heels win the offensive zone faceoff. The shot from Kendrick Holmes blocked by traffic. And NC State gets it out to the red line. Nice job by Kendrick Holmes to get back to it, and he'll carry it in. He's got Friedman with him. Throws a shot on goal. Blocker to the near side by Daniel. And the Tar Heels will get back to it. Friedman lifts it behind the net for Kramer. Looking out in front. That pass denied by Alex James. But it's still the Tar Heels in control. Kramer back up that far wall for Beeson. He'll shovel it back behind looking for Kramer. Hops his stick. And the first one to it, Victor Hugo of the Ice Pack. Nice breakout pass. He hit the stick of Chris Solomon, who couldn't control. Tar Heels get it back to neutral ice. And they'll control at the defense. Wills Kendrick Holmes looking things over. Sends it off the wall, a little bit out of the reach of Friedman. Hugo now for the Ice Pack, looking through the middle. Finds a teammate there in Alex Robinson. Robinson lugs it in. Backhand pass. Finds a teammate in Arini, trying to wait out Douthit, but he didn't have an angle. Nice job by Douthit to stay tall. Covered enough of the net to not give Garrett Arini anything to shoot at. Shoveled back in front. That bouncing puck is all the way back to the blue line. James sends it back in for the Ice Pack. Cleared right back to him again. Nice work from Alex James, the freshman, to keep that in the zone for NC State. Tar Heels are used to giving teams trouble here early in the season, getting out of their own zone, but right now it's UNC who's having trouble getting out. On the near point, thrown on goal, steered nicely by Douthit into the corner. It was Hugo with the shot. Near circle, nice challenging save made by Douthit. It was a point-blank opportunity for Alex Fong there. Well, here's another look at it. Nice job there by Douthit. You can see he could see it the whole way. And he's able to steer it to the corner, and look at that push to stand tall and handle that one up high. Tar Heels control off the defensive zone draw. Wrapped around the boards, but held in by the Ice Pack and swatted into that near left corner. Down to minute 40 left in period number 1. It's been fairly quiet since about the 14-minute mark, which is when NC State scored that third goal. They're still in on the attack, though. Tar Heels struggling to get out of their own zone. Up in the high slot, it'll be collected by the Ice Pack. Pinned up against the wall, but they're able to get it deep. First one to it for NC State is Breshingham. He'll be pinched there. Loses control. And North Carolina takes it back over. Karen up for Saboden. Looking for Carlson. That's out of his reach. It'll skitter all the way down, and this is going to be another icing on North Carolina. Exactly 60 seconds left in period number 1. It is a 3-0 lead for NC State. They've controlled play, and for the Tar Heels, I think the big adjustment they're going to need to make, as you get a look at that full house here at Wake Competition Center, but they're going to need to find a way to get cleanly out of their zone. They have not been able to get cleanly through the neutral zone, and there's another centering pass to Parker Zarek, his second of the game. It's 4-0 NC State. Get another look at it here. Carlson actually wins the draw, and it's Tanner knocked off the puck. Johnson with a good look out in front. And there's the 4-0 lead. So it'll be Zarek from Johnson and Monteith with 53 seconds left in the period. Carolina able to get it into the Ice Pack zone off the neutral zone faceoff. NC State right back out. Parker Zarek already with 2, looking for a third. Trying to force his way down that left wing. Ben Reese able to slow him down, but can't clear the zone. Chipped back in by Riley Johnson. He'll lug it behind the net. Knocked off the puck. Tar Heels going to get to it. Down to 28 seconds left in period number 1. Johnson lurking with it. Cute little pass is turned over. Maybe a chance late for the Tar Heels. In comes Reese, looking to the middle. Has Baglia. Shot steered away by Daniel and up into the netting. 14.7 seconds to go in the period. And it'll be an offensive zone face-off for UNC. Ice Pack control the draw back behind their own net. Charles Monteith the first to it. Pestered there by a couple of Tar Heels. Kramer comes away with it. One-timer in the slot for Friedman, and he couldn't get it on goal. That should finish off period number 1 as NC State comes out. Took a little while for them to get going, but once they put the first one in the net, they took over. 4-0 lead for NC State after 20 minutes. These two teams will head off. We're going to step aside. We'll be back with some coverage here during the intermission. We'll talk about what happened here in period number 1, and we'll see what the Tar Heels need to do to get back into this contest when we head to period number 2. After 20 minutes, it's NC State 4, North Carolina 0.
Chris Lehman back with you at Wake Competition Center here in Morrisville, North Carolina. It is a 4-0 lead for the NC State Ice Pack over your North Carolina Tar Heels after 20 minutes, and it started pretty well for North Carolina. They weren't able to control a lot of the play, but they did a nice job of limiting NC State's opportunities. Didn't give them a lot of clean entries into the zone and made it a little bit difficult to possess initially, but once that first goal came about 8.5 minutes in, NC State smelled blood. They went right back on the attack, scored 23 seconds later, and were off and running. So there's certainly some adjustments to be made for North Carolina. This is a little bit different pace than they're used to playing. They were able to really push the pace against their opponents last weekend, but this weekend it's NC State who's able to play at that same pace and even a little bit faster. So this is a good test for the Tar Heels, a good learning experience, and they're going to have to adjust as we head into period number 2. Again, a 4-0 lead right now, but a couple things that didn't go right for North Carolina. The big one was the breakout. They had trouble getting out of their zone, controlling through neutral ice, and then establishing on the attack. They really only had 2 instances where they were able to maintain zone time, and they did get a couple of good chances. We saw Reese hit the post. That would have been a big tally. It was still a 2-0 game at that point. Really could have shifted the momentum, but it was off the pipe and out, and not in the right direction for the Tar Heels. So certainly some work to do. Got to find a way to get onto the power play, try to draw some penalties, and get some attack time in order to get back into this game. But the big thing is that breakout. UNC got to find a way to control, get out into the offensive zone, and get some chances. Well, they're enjoying it here at Wake Competition Center. We got some red, we got some blue in the stands, so it's certainly a great environment for some hockey. We're going to step aside. We'll be back with more first intermission coverage right after this. Welcome back to Wake Competition Center here in Morrisville, North Carolina. Chris Lehman with you at the intermission. 4-0 lead for the Ice Pack over the Tar Heels. Going to get a look at some of the highlights from the period. There you see a nice hit from Beeson. That's one of the highlights of the period. Going to need to see a little more of that from North Carolina. They were not able to take away enough space, and you see another clean entry into the zone there for NC State. They did a pretty good job of not allowing clean entries into the zone, but they do need to take away some more space. One thing they did really well against opponents last week was taking away space in the middle of the ice. And then there you get a look. Thought we might see a penalty there. Thought Foster might have drawn one, but didn't get the call. And if you're North Carolina, you know you're going to face adversity in this game, and you're going to have to find a way to get the puck to the net. And there you see a chance. There's going to need to be a little bit more of that. If you're North Carolina and you're going to have success offensively with limited zone time, it's going to be things like that where you can chip it in and get a quick rebound and a chance, and you're going to need some more big saves like that from Will Douthit. He's looked pretty strong. The goals he's given up have been rebound goals or one-time shots across where he's got to go cross crease to make the save. So can't really fault Douthit too much on the way this first period has gone. Going to need to have him steal a couple of goals, though. And then this right here, those are the kind of plays you're going to have to shut down if you're North Carolina. It was a great goal from Parker Zarek to bat that out of midair, but if Reeves there is able to pinch on Johnson and make that stop and keep him from getting to the net, then you're able to prevent that goal. And there you see the floodgates started to open after the Ice Pack were able to get the first goal, and then they go right back on the attack, get a couple of quick chances, and NC State has dominated for the most part. A lot of zone time. There are a couple things that this Tar Heel team can do, some adjustments that they can make to create a little bit more of a competitive edge for them. First and foremost, you're not going to see a lot of it in these highlights, but North Carolina really struggled to get out of their zone. You really would like to control it and break it out if you can. And you got to be disciplined as well. You got to look at the penalty there from Reeves before this NC State power play. But if you're North Carolina, you got to get it out of your zone quickly. They've been trying to break it out in that traditional fashion with some passes, but that has not worked out. You're eventually just going to have to chip and chase, I think, if you're the Tar Heels, because the biggest strength that I saw last weekend from the boys in blue was their ability to get in on the forecheck and make it difficult for teams to break out. And they did that at times. They did not make it easy for NC State to get out of the zone. This is just a little bit more skilled Ice Pack team, and so it's going to take a little bit more to shut them down than it did last weekend for North Carolina. So still some work to be done, but a couple of takeaways if you're North Carolina. You got off to a good start. You were able to play with this team for 8.5 minutes and keep it scoreless so they can stay in this hockey game. Now it's a matter of flipping the ice, getting on the attack, and trying to get back into this game even though you're down 4-0. But again, the keys that we're going to be looking at in the second period, first and foremost, a quick breakout, get it out of the zone, and get up the ice, get on that forecheck, because you have things like that happen right there where you turn it over, you don't get it out quick enough, and you end up giving up another goal. So get it out of the zone quickly, break out, get on the forecheck, and then get the puck to the net as quickly as possible, because zone time for the Tar Heels has been limited on the offensive end. Well, we're about 3 minutes away from the start of the second period, so we're going to step aside one more time. When we come back, it'll be time for second period action. The score after 20 minutes is NC State 4, North Carolina 0.
North Carolina and NC State heading back out onto the ice as we get set for the second set of 20 minutes between the Tar Heels and the Ice Pack. We talked a little bit about it during the intermission, but we'll recap for you. The first 8.5 minutes, the Tar Heels were back on their heels a little bit. They had to defend a lot, as they did throughout the period, but they did a nice job for the most part of limiting chances for this very high-powered offense on the NC State side. They were able to keep them out of the more dangerous areas a little bit, and they were able to give Will Douthit, who is a pretty solid goaltender back there between the pipes for North Carolina, a chance to see the puck and to move it out of danger areas. But when there was traffic in front, when the Tar Heels weren't able to clear out of the slot and give Douthit a good look, he would squirt out some rebounds at, just late reaction because you don't see the puck until later coming through traffic. But it's a little bit late. Pucks end up in dangerous areas, and NC State was able to put home 4. Quick recap was at 11:31, or at 8:29, I should say, of the first period that we saw the first goal. Parker Zarek from Riley Johnson, and the goaltender, Eric Daniel, who actually helped break it out of the zone for NC State. That was followed up 23 seconds later by Colby Peterson, who found a puck off the wall and punched it in. And then after a penalty was killed off by the Tar Heels, it was Matt Miller who added to it. And then late in the period, Parker Zarek put home his second of the game to make it 4-0. Tar Heels get it deep off the draw. They're going to control as it's cleared out into neutral ice. Backing up with it, Daniel Jones. He'll lift it up and out. Nice look for Kramer. He's going to carry it in. Top of the right circle. Shot. Stopped. Rebound. Loose in front. And they can't put it home. Eric Daniel looking a little bit shaky with that rebound, but the Tar Heels unable to punch it in the back of the net. And here come the Ice Pack, straight up the middle. Knocked off the stick of Matt Miller. It'll bounce out in the neutral zone, and now Noah Friedman will go one-on-one against Jackson Cowan. Fans on the shot from the right circle. Cowan first to it. He's going to wrap it around the wall. Miller back to it. He'll retreat behind his net, sweeps it up the boards. Nice pinch by Reeves. He'll tee one up off the mask of Daniel and back into the near corner. Loose puck along the goal line. It'll be collected there by the Ice Pack. That's Alex Robinson, who gets it back, sends it up the wall, a little bit too strong, and it'll be knocked right back in by UNC. Good start by the Tar Heels here. They're getting some pressure. The forecheck is working, and they're starting to get some chances. We saw one of their best chances there just a moment ago, but here's an odd man rush for NC State. Robinson with the shot, short side save with the glove by Will Douthit. Oh, and we got the shot clock, or the shot counter going now. Right now it's in favor of NC State 15-6. So we were looking at about 14-5 in the first period were the shots. So you got to have some more shots on goal if you're NC State, especially you look at the way Daniel struggled a little bit with that shot from Kramer here early in the period. NC State breaks it in. Swept around behind the net by Monteith. It'll be stuck there. Nice hit from Leighton Walsh, knocks it loose. It'll be picked up there by Carter Tanner. He'll carry it up the left side. Cross ice looking for Foster. He gets a stick to it. Sitting just inside the blue line, Graham Karen will get it deep, but it's right there for Jackson Cowan to lift back out. Karen again. He'll try and work it up that far wall. Sent right back by Eric Todd. Diving play there from Zark to send the puck to the middle, but nobody in a black jersey there. Retreating for it for the Tar Heels is Simon Malone. Sends it to Tanner. He'll bank it off the wall for Karen. Looking to break it out for Malone. Elevated pass can't be handled, and now it's the Ice Pack turning it back up. Nice hit by Walsh in the neutral zone to knock it loose. Now Malone. Chip back for Walsh. He'll look forward. Has a teammate there in Saboden. Walsh got to go off for a change. The other thing to keep an eye on here this period, this is the period of the long change. So this is the best chance, I think, if you're North Carolina, you're going to look to spring a guy on a breakaway, or just try and chase the puck down and put some pressure on once you get the puck deep. And this is the period where you might be able to spring somebody when you catch NC State on a bad change, and the period where you got to go a little bit further. Puck pinballing through neutral ice, eventually settled down by Matt Miller of NC State. He'll button hook on the right side. Back to the point, Peterson. One-touch pass down low for Chris Solomon. He'll circle with it. Back for Miller up top. Goes rink wide. It's taken off the wall by the Ice Pack's Monteith. He'll leave it there for Alex James. James walking in, shot, hits somebody in front. Douthit didn't know where it was, and now the shot will be deflected up and out of play. It'll be an offensive zone faceoff here for NC State, but that was a little bit dangerous. You saw Douthit react. Puck never got through, and he didn't see it in the legs of a bunch of players. And fortunately for the Tar Heels, as you get another look, this is the chance I was talking about. Not very well handled by Daniel. He stumbled there, and unfortunately Foster got tied up with a teammate there along the side, and neither of them were able to put it in the gaping 4x6, but one of the better chances so far. Nice shoulder save there by Douthit. Tar Heels break it out. Vaglia looking to the middle for Hogan. He can't corral it, has to chase it down in the far corner. Nice forecheck there from Brian Hogan. Getting some help there from Vaglia. Still unable to gain control of it, though. They pinned NC State down there in that corner for the moment. But again, you got to find a way to come away with that puck battle. Nice pinch by Reeves to keep it in the neutral zone. Swats it off the stick of Alex Fong as you hear the Wolfpack chant start here at Wake Competition Center. Now Arini, no look pass. He finds a teammate there, bringing it in. Alex Robinson back to Arini to the middle. Now Robinson with a chance hits the side of the net. That was a great pass, though. A blind pass from Marini on that far side. Ice Pack will retreat. Now it's Victor Hugo. Shovels one up the far side. He's got Alex Fong bringing it in. Fong to Arini. Looking to the middle. Had Hugo breaking down the right side, but couldn't get the pass through. Ice Pack still in control. Arini far corner. He'll look cross ice. Hits a stick. Tar Heels take over. Ben Reese going to carry it out. He's got Friedman up the far side. He'll chase down that tipped pass and bring it down the goal line. Shorthand shied, and he can't get it to go. Nice save there by Daniel, who had to pin the post. And now an odd man rush for the Ice Pack, bringing it out. With speed, it's Zach Robinson. Loses it in that far corner. Tar Heels take back over. Friedman looking for Beeson. Tried to glove it down, but couldn't. And the Tar Heels going to have to go back and defend. Miles Ferrone bringing it in. The NC State defenseman lugs it all the way into the corner. He'll be pinned there. Carter Tanner fighting there for the Tar Heels. Gets some help from Friedman. Round behind the net for Karen. Looking for Kramer. Has it stolen away. Tipped in front, just wide. Back out in front. Douthit gets a stick to it. It skitters through the crease and out to the far corner. Ice Pack starting to put the pressure on. Now it's Ferrone. Throws it wide. Back around to the far side. It'll be Ricky Frosch. Knocked off the puck by Kramer. He'll leave it for Graham Karen. And the Tar Heels got to get to the bench and change. Karen looking to the middle. Nobody there. His other four teammates were changing. But it'll be Henry Foster sweeping it back in on the backhand. Chased down by Miles Ferrone of NC State. He'll cycle back behind his own cage and carry it out. Looking cross ice. Taken off the wall. Nice hit there by Daniel Jones. As the puck will skitter all the way back behind the Carolina net. Gleason breaks it out. Stretch pass for Foster. He'll bring it in. Jones just about caught offside, but gets back just in time. Good forecheck behind the net by the Tar Heels. Knocks the puck loose, but NC State able to get back to it. It'll be brought up by Zarek. He's got some speed. Back to Johnson. Snaps a shot wide. And it'll be kept in by the Ice Pack. Wrapped around the boards, bad angle shot, and it didn't get through to Douthit. Now Johnson looking for the lacrosse move, and a nice job by Douthit to get the shoulder up and deny it. Working with it now, Monteith looking to the middle, disrupted by the stick of Daniel Jones. Back for Johnson, zips a pass across, looking for Zarek, who couldn't get a stick to it. And the Ice Pack send it back behind the North Carolina net. Zarek tied up there by Gleason. Taken by Johnson of NC State. He'll be hit by Jones. That knocks the puck loose. Thrown back around behind. Collected by Solomon. He'll look to the slot. Off the stick of Zarek and into the corner for Riley Johnson. He'll turn one around. Spins it towards the net. Walsh shuts that down. He's going to carry it out for North Carolina. Pushes it a little too far ahead. Johnson takes it back for a moment, and then Walsh takes a hit as he sends the puck deep. And now Solomon going to haul down Walsh, and that's an easy call to make. And this is going to be a golden opportunity for North Carolina as the Ice Pack captain, Chris Solomon, is going to be called there, I would imagine, either for a hold or for interference. We're going to get another look at that last bad angle shot and then the lacrosse attempt. And a nice job by Douthit. You got to think Johnson's done it twice in the last couple years. They know there's the possibility it's coming. but now it's going to be a man advantage for UNC. And this has been a really strong part of their game. You heard in the pregame Coach Volkman talk about the fact that this team has worked a lot on their penalty kill and their power play. And this is a chance to let it shine. Well, and we're still waiting, as it looks like, well, they're going to have to put somebody else in the penalty box. I think Solomon tweaked something when he fell down on top of Leighton Walsh. And so it'll be, I believe that's Don Johnson, who will take his spot in the penalty box. A 2-minute man advantage here for the Tar Heels. Cleared out immediately. Douthit going to come out to play it and sweep it away from Colby Peterson. But NC State off to the right start on the penalty kill. Saboden goes cross ice. He's got Beeson. Back across for Kramer. Friedman coming in with speed as well. Kramer flips it through off the skate of Friedman. He'll collect it in the corner. Drop back for Kramer. Again for Noah Friedman. Looking across as a teammate one time. Shot denied by Daniel and cleared out by Peterson. That was a good look there from Noah Friedman to send it across the ice and find a breaking D-man down that weak side. A little over 8 minutes gone here in period number 2. Was right around now when we saw the first goal of period number 1. We'll see if the Tar Heels, now halfway through their power play, are able to put the first one on the board here in period number 2. Cleared out again by NC State. Douthit will set it on a tee behind the net. Foster picks it up. He'll look up that right wing, decides to go back across for Mahan. David Mahan carries it down the left side, into the corner. Knocked off the puck in that corner, gets it back, walking down the goal line, and he has it poked off his stick, and Parker Sarek clears it all the way down. 30 ticks left on the penalty to Chris Solomon, unofficially for a hold. Regardless of what it is a 2-minute penalty, and we're going to get another one. Delayed penalty on the ice pack, so it's 6-on-4 here for the moment as Daniel Jones lugs it into the far corner. Left there for Walsh, looking to the middle. He's got Malone, and he can't get the shot away. And it'll finally be touched by the ice pack, and it'll be an 8-second 5-on-3 here for North Carolina. And that's one. We'll get another look at this chance for Malone up close. The penalty going to go against Drew Breshingham, and Malone just had his stick tied up there pretty nicely by Miles Ferrone and couldn't get the shot away. Daniel was there to cover the post as well. But if you're North Carolina, this is really a must-win face-off. You don't want to let Don Johnson come out of the box and have a chance at a shorthanded breakaway. So another penalty, Breshingham for tripping, 2 minutes. Foster, high slot, zips one just wide. First penalty is over. It's back to 5-on-4 for the next minute 50. Centering pass, nobody there, and it will be knocked all the way down by Emery Oliver. Douthit banks it off the wall. Picked up by Mahan. Move forward for Beeson. Gains the blue line, throws it back behind the net. And North Carolina goes in on the forecheck. Saboten the first one to it. He'll leave it for Foster. Across to Hogan. Trying to step around Arini. He does. Throws it to the middle off a pad. And the shot pops up in the air as Daniel stopped them both. Kept in by the Tar Heels. Foster pinching on that near blue line. Loose puck to Saboden. He'll be tied up. Twist it back over to Brian Hogan. Throw it at the net. Stopped by Daniel. He bodied it down. Saboden back over to Hogan again. Throws another one on goal, and that one blockered away by Daniel and up into the mesh behind. But we'll get another look at this chance here. Nice little move by Hogan. Little hesitation. Threw it to the middle. Couple of good chances in tight. And the Tar Heels just couldn't put it home. That's the advantage if you're NC State of having a guy like Eric Daniel in your net. He's a big body, especially compared to Will Douthit at the other end. And so he can take up a little bit more space. NC State clears it off the defensive zone faceoff, and they'll go back to killing the penalty. 50 seconds left on the man advantage. Kramer turns it over in the neutral zone. Sark banks it up the boards, looking for Johnson, stolen away by the Tar Heels. Now Daniel to the near left side for Kramer. He'll look things over, cuts to the high slot, sweeps it into the near corner. Back up for Gleason. He'll walk the blue line. Looks down to that far corner for Jones. Daniel Jones looking to center it, has that denied, and it's cleared out by NC State again. Down to 10 seconds left on the man advantage for the Tar Heels. It'll be lugged up by Daniel Jones. Carries it into the offensive end to the middle. Vaglia, his shot just wide of that far post. Good chance there for North Carolina. Vaglia back on it. Back to Gleason. One-time shot, hit a stick and tipped up over the net. Daniel had to stand up to make sure that didn't end up in the back of his cage. And now we're back to even strength. So the Tar Heels 0 for 2 on the power play here in this second period. Brought back in by Solomon, trying to power to the net, and he'll knock it off its moorings. Now we'll get a face-off to the right of Will Douthit. And there's that chance for Vaglia. Just missed that right post on Daniel. It was a pretty well-played angle by Eric Daniel, who transferred to NC State out of King's College, where he actually played NCAA Division III hockey. But has come here to play in Raleigh for the Ice Pack now. Well, speaking of the Ice Pack, it's their turn to go on the attack as they're now back to full strength. Kendrick Holmes behind his own net, trying to clear it out. And we're going to get a whistle and a high stick. Not a penalty, but the puck played with a high stick, and it looks like the face-off is going to come out into neutral ice because it was Solomon who knocked it down. Well, and actually, they're going to bring this one all the way down. Shots now a little bit more even, 19-14 in favor of NC State. Of course, part of that due to the fact that the Ice Pack have spent a good 4 minutes straight on the penalty kill. Off the offensive zone draw, won by the Tar Heels. Saboden couldn't get it to the net on the shot from the top of the circle. And here comes Chris Solomon. Works his way through the defense. Backhand shot, and it looked like it hit the post. It was either off the blocker of Douthit or off the post, but a good chance there for the Ice Pack. Forced out into the neutral zone, and now it'll be brought up by Malone of North Carolina. Banned on the shot, Saboden there to clean it up. Drops it off for Carlson, who swings it back behind the NC State net. Collected there by Johnson. He's going to lift it up the ice. Bouncing puck handled by Karen, but turned over at the blue line. Ice Pack have trouble connecting on the pass. So now it's Tanner. Through the middle. Nobody there on the receiving end. Jackson Cowan for the Ice Pack moves it back up. Little miscommunication leaves a chance for Malone, and he throws it up over top of the net. But North Carolina, some more zone time. Mahan back to the point for Karen. D to D with Tanner. He'll tee up a slap shot. Got through, but it was tipped wide. Jackson Cowan got a stick to it, directed it into that far corner. He'll move it up for Solomon. And now Don Johnson trying to throw it in off the shins of Carter Tanner, and that leaves Leighton Walsh with it. He's got some speed down the right wing. Looking to the middle, couldn't find the stick of Mahan. But this is a much better period from the Tar Heels. Another shot there. Daniel having trouble with the rebound. And we'll get a little pushing and shoving after the play as these two teams go at it. Back behind the NC State net as the Ice Pack didn't take kindly to that hit or that little touch on Eric Daniel. And we'll get another look here at what exactly happened. Foster just throwing it to the net. Mahan there just trying to jar the puck loose. And of course, NC State didn't like it. And Daniel Jones will get the penalty here. And hard to argue with it. You maybe hope you also get one there on, I believe it was Don Johnson who started the pushing and shoving, but it's almost always the retaliation that gets the call, and certainly the hit by Daniel Jones much more noticeable. And so he's going to sit for a couple of minutes, and it'll be an NC State power play. So we'll see what the Ice Pack have. They're 0 for 1 on the man advantage so far tonight. Tar Heels able to clear right off the draw and melt a little bit of that power play clock away. 6:24 to go in period number 2. It is a 4-0 lead still for the Tar Heels. As the Ice Pack look to bring it up. Little stick handling display there from Victor Hugo with the slingshot pass back for Chris Solomon. He'll weave through the middle of the ice, cutting in. High slot, he scores! Got Dalthit going right to left and then threw it back up over top of his blocker. And 31 seconds into the power play, the Ice Pack make their lead 5-0. That'll be the first of the season for Chris Solomon. Got the assist from Hugo. And it did not take long on that power play for NC State to add to their lead. Puck won by NC State back into their own zone as we restart play. Carolina on the forecheck. One-time chance on a bouncing puck. Fanned on by Friedman over on the side of the net. And now North Carolina going to have to get back and defend here a bit. Trying to get in on the forecheck now as NC State slow to get out of their own zone. They are able to move it forward though. Breshingham gets it deep. And he'll chase the puck down behind the net. Kramer puts a body there on Emery Oliver. And now he's working hard against Breshingham. Comes away with it, does Kramer. Karen, cross ice for Beeson. He'll leave it there for Friedman to pick up some speed. Noah Friedman forces his way to the net, but can't keep the puck. And it trickles into the far corner where NC State takes over. Back across to the near side. Oliver will bring it down the right wing. Leaves it there for Breshingham. He'll be forced into the boards. Puck comes loose. They'll battle for it there. Breshingham comes away with it. Now Ricky Frosch goes D-to-D with Alex James. Walks it past Kramer. Sends it back behind the net where he finds Zach Robinson. Again for James. Sends it out in front. Here's the chance. They score. Patrick Kramer couldn't tie up Emery Oliver. And it's 2 goals in a span of a minute and about 15 seconds. They make it 6-0. Get a second look at it here. Nice little pass by James out in front to find his teammate in Oliver. But that's one there where you need Patrick Kramer to be able to tie up his man there in the low slot. So some work to be done here for the Tar Heels now. 6-0 lead for NC State. It's been a pretty similar period. Now the Tar Heels able to play a little bit more tightly with NC State here this period, but once the first one goes in, another one follows quickly. Tar Heels trying to answer. Reese trying to spin it out in front for Vaglia. He's knocked off the puck, and NC State will bring it out quickly. Disrupted nicely by Gleason in his own blue line. Daniel Jones clears it all the way down. Icing will be waved off as NC State retreats for it. Miles Ferrone banks it off the wall, looking to get back to it himself, but he's beat there by Saboden. Goes across for Daniel Jones. Fans on the pass up ice. Riley Johnson holds the offensive end, at least for the moment, for NC State. Now Parker Zarek will bring it in. Bodied off the puck nicely by Misha Saboden. Saboden working behind his own net. Under 4 minutes to play here in the period. Up for Vaglia, who's knocked down. Puck still loose along that far wall. Saboden trying to force it out across the blue line. Pinned there by Riley Johnson of NC State. Battling with Vaglia, who knocks it loose to Saboden. Now Gleason. Across to Jones. He'll look up ice, where he's got Saboden, who deflects it with his stick. Back for Gleason to send in. North Carolina needs to get off on a change here. Loose puck. Saboden takes it over at the NC State blue line. High slot, wrist shot, off the glove of Daniel, who had a little bit of trouble with that rebound. Now Malone, backhand pass back to the point, but didn't have a man there on that far side. Retreating for it is Ian Reeves. He'll play catch with Wills Kendrick Holmes. Up the ice to Bowden, deflects it on for Carlson. He'll bring it in. Zips one wide of the glove side of, or the blocker side, pardon me, of Daniel. It'll deflect all the way back out to the blue line, collected by Colby Peterson. Left there for Solomon. His shot, nice stand-up glove save from Douthit, who was ready for that challenge from the high slot. And here's another look at that last opportunity for Solomon. And now NC State going right at it off this offensive zone draw. Couldn't get a shot away, though, for Solomon. And Leighton Walsh will lug it out. Carries it in himself. Chip and chase as he heads down behind the net. Walsh the first to it. Bouncing puck out into the low slot in the NC State zone, but the Ice Pack first to it. Here comes Chris Solomon looking to the middle. Matt Miller can't handle a bouncing puck. And they'll have to chase it down in the near corner. Back towards the point, Don Johnson, deflected shot. Nice save by Douthit, still loose in the low slot. Bouncing puck around, we got a hand up now, and another North Carolina penalty coming up. This is going to be a hooking call. And it will go against number 25, Carter Tanner. So effectively, the rest of the period will be a power play for NC State unless they score, and they did pick up the goal only about 30 seconds into the penalty on Daniel Jones on the last power play. We'll see what they have here. They control off the draw. Thrown around behind the net. And now Daniel Jones will clear it out. He was the first to it for the Tar Heels. Well, the period clock and the penalty clock almost exactly synced up, so it will be the rest of the period essentially on the power play for NC State. Is walking in there. It's number 15, Alex James, who forced a shot in, handled by Douthit. But I've got a chance to talk to both coaches prior to this game, and Coach Healy of the Ice Pack mentioned this freshman Alex James out of Lakeview, Minnesota. Did spend some time in the USPHL last year with the Charlotte Rush, but he likes that freshman defenseman who he's got on that top D pairing. Clearance from the Tar Heels is into the NC State bench, so the face-off stays in the offensive end here. It'll be Carlson to take the draw against Matt Miller of NC State, and it's one out of the zone by the Ice Pack. Eric Daniel will leave it for a teammate, collected behind the net by James. And now Alex Robinson with some space. Robinson down that left wing, halfway through the power play now. He'll drop it back to the point for James. Along to the near side, Matt Miller. Looking cross ice, finds Robinson to the high slot. Here's a chance for Monteith. That shot blocked nicely by Carlson. And it's out across the blue line. Bad pass. Now Ben Reese maybe with a shorthanded chance. He'll bring it in, but he runs out of time and space. And he's hauled down. Play will continue. Alex Robinson brings it up this near right wing. Chips it along for James. Backhand pass to the middle, tipped up and in. What a deflection. This time it's Alex Robinson with the power play goal. And it's 7-0 NC State. So a minute 35 into the power play, the Ice Pack strike again. Their third goal of the period. They've all come in the last 6 minutes of the period. And they just seem to come in bunches for NC State. Tar Heels trying to mount an attack here. Behind the net, it's Walsh. He'll be bodied off the puck. knocked up the near wall, and NC State able to break it up and out. First one to it for the Ice Pack as Charles Monteith gets it deep, backhands it out in front, loose puck, and we're going to run out of time here on the period. Well, once again, the Tar Heels able to keep it scoreless for a good portion of the period, but it was the last 6 minutes where NC State took over. 3 goals, 2 of them on the power play to make it a 7-0 lead after 40 minutes. We're going to take a break here at Wake Competition Center. We'll come back, talk about the period, and see what the Tar Heels need to do to get on the board and try and win this third period. Again, after 40 minutes, 7-0 NC State over North Carolina.
Welcome back to Weight Competition Center here in Morrisville, North Carolina. Chris Lehman with you. After 40 minutes, it is now a 7-0 lead for the NC State Ice Pack. Somewhat similar story to period number 1 for the Tar Heels. Now, they did get some chances on the power play, were not able to punch one home, and that ended up coming back to bite them. They did a really good job on special teams last weekend, but unfortunately 0 for 2 this period on the power play, and they give up a pair of power play goals to the Ice Pack as well. And whenever the special teams is not going your way, usually the game doesn't go your way as well. But still some work to be done for the Tar Heels. There are some things that look good. Of course, you look at the fact it took 14 minutes as opposed to about 8.5 to give up that first goal. Part of that due to the fact that there were a couple penalties for the Ice Pack to kill off. But if you're North Carolina, again, getting shots to the net is going to be paramount. Getting outshot right now, not quite as bad as they were in period number 1, but still getting outshot. And you take a look at the way that Eric Daniel had some trouble with rebounds. We saw that quick shot from Patrick Kramer at the beginning of the period that gave him some trouble. Tar Heels weren't able to put that in. But if they keep getting to the puck to the net, if they keep crashing the net and going after those rebounds, eventually they're going to be able to pinball one past that NC State netminder and get one up on the board. But that's really the focus here, I think, for Jeff Volkman and this Tar Heel team as they head into the third period. Down 7-0, comeback, really kind of improbable. But what you'd like to do if you're North Carolina is try and win this final 20 minutes, get some time in the offensive zone, get some good shots off, and most importantly, put one in the back of the net to build some confidence going into a game against High Point tomorrow. We're going to step aside again here at the Weight Competition Center. We'll be back to take a look at some of the highlights from period number 2 right after this. We're back in the second intermission here at Wake Competition Center. Now a 7-0 lead for the Ice Pack over North Carolina. We get a look at a couple of chances, and this is what I was referencing in that last stand-up, was the way that North Carolina, when they did get some shots away, Eric Daniel had some trouble. You get a look there at Chris Solomon's goal. And this is what we're going to take a good look at, is some of these goals from the Ice Pack right there. You'd really like to see Patrick Kramer pinch down a little bit more, cover that up, and not allow that shot. But we did get a look a little bit earlier on in that package at some chances for North Carolina where, when they were able to get the puck to the net, they saw a pretty shaky Eric Daniel who left some rebounds that could have been cleaned up by the Tar Heels and put in the back of the net. And that, I think, is going to be the focus in period number 3, is getting the puck to the net, crashing for rebounds, and trying to, find one of those dirty goals. Just sneak one by, whether it's a pinball shot or just one that trickles past and into the net. However it gets in, it still counts as one. And that's going to be the most important thing. And there, again, you look at some really nice goals from the Ice Pack. I, again, don't blame Will Douthit for the way that period has gone, with the 7 goals that have ended up in the back of his net. We've seen some nice deflections, point-blank chances. He stopped just about everything that he's seen. It was really the worst goal he gave up was that first one we saw in that period to Chris Solomon. Maybe overcommitted a little bit, but when you're a goaltender moving from one side to the other, when the shot goes back across, it's difficult to slow down that momentum and stop that puck. So a little bit more work to do for North Carolina. Again, the focus here in period number 3 going to be win the period. Got to get into the offensive zone, get some shots away, try and test Eric Daniel a little bit more, and get on to the scoreboard. As you can see, about 2 minutes left till the teams head back out for the final 20 minutes of this one. It's a 7-0 lead for NC State over North Carolina. We'll be back with the third period right after this. .40 minutes down, 20 to go here at the Wake Competition Center. Now a 7-0 advantage
for the NC State Ice Pack as your North Carolina Tar Heels look again. I think the goal here for head coach Jeff Volkman and the Tar Heels is going to be to win this period, and they've looked better in each period. Again, I mentioned, they were able to play even with NC State a little bit longer in period number 2. We'll see what they can do getting in here to period number 3. Ice Pack on the attack immediately. Wrapped around the boards. It'll be collected there by North Carolina's Patrick Kramer. Back around behind the net. Looking up the boards for Beeson was Daniel Jones. And it's tipped all the way down towards Eric Daniel. And that's going to be, or at least, there aren't many weak points on this NC State team. But if there is one that we've seen tonight, it might be in goal. Eric Daniel has had some trouble handling some rebounds. I think that's something that's challenging for a goaltender when you don't see as many shots as you'd like, or a steady flow of shots for that matter, which has not been the case. It's kind of been flurries. Tipped in on goal. Douthit makes the save. And he'll hold on for a face-off. Now, we get another look at that replay here. And this is something that North Carolina's got to find a way to shut down a little bit. There's too much space through the middle of the neutral zone, and that allows NC State to have a lot of options. If you're going up the right or left wing, you can only go to your left or to your right because you got the boards on one side. As another shot in on Douthit is swallowed up. And we'll have another face-off. But when you allow the Ice Pack to go up the middle, they can go left, they can go right, they can go down the middle. Opens up a lot more options for them, and it makes it a lot more difficult for North Carolina to defend. So they got to find a way to take away the middle of the ice. They did that particularly on the penalty kill last week. They did that very well against their opponents. Forcing his way into the offensive zone is Leighton Walsh for North Carolina. Lays a heavy hit on the near side on Zach Robinson. We do have an update as we have a hand up, and we're going to get our first penalty of the period. We'll get back to that update here in a moment, as we're going to have a penalty against NC State. It'll be a 2-minute minor for tripping on Ricky Frosch. .48 to go in the game. A good chance here for North Carolina to get on the board. But again, to get back to that point, as we have an offensive zone faceoff coming up for the Tar Heels. An injury update for NC State. It was Eric Todd who fell down in that little scuffle early in the second period. Saw him up here at the intermission getting ice on his shoulder. So it doesn't look like that captain. There are 2 captains on this NC State team, but one of their captains out for at least the remainder of this game. And it looks like he might miss their game against the Liberty Flames tomorrow. But the Tar Heels on the attack here. We'll see what they can do. Saboden, top of the left circle, fakes a shot. Now skitters one just wide of Daniel. Kept in on the near side by number 27, Brian Hogan. They'll fight for it in that near corner. Glove down by an Ice Pack player. That's Drew Breshingham, but he can't get it out. Forced back in by Mahan. Now slapped off the boards. Back to the middle. It's Henry Foster. Down to Saboden. Up top for Foster again. Along for Hogan, into the middle, has a teammate there, Mahan, backhand try, didn't get it to the net, has it back though, trying to force it out in front. Fans on the shot, now Mahan will leave it for Brian Hogan. D to D with Foster, he'll step into a wrist shot, right into the crest on the uniform of Eric Daniel. Just a little bit of pushing and shoving there around the net. We did see tempers boil over a little bit in period number 2. Things staying under control there, though. 47 seconds left on the penalty to Ricky Frosch for tripping. 17:35 to go in the game. It'll be Friedman to take the faceoff for North Carolina, but it's Alex Fong winning it for NC State. Can't clear, though. Daniel Jones trying to handle a bouncing puck. Couldn't keep it in the zone on the D-to-D pass. Gleason retreats for it. Leaves left for Kramer. Has his pass disrupted, gets it back, and now slides it up the ice for Beeson. In the skates of Kramer, who stays on side and gets it deep. Swept around the boards by Don Johnson and all the way out. And now North Carolina will have to retreat for it. 17 seconds left on the power play for the Tar Heels, looking to avoid going 0 for 3, although running out of time on this man advantage. NC State, on the other hand, 2 for 3 right now on the power play, as it's carried up by Jack Gleason, swept in by Daniel Jones. Slowing it down behind the net is Eric Daniel of NC State. Power play is over for the Tar Heels, as it's cleared in by Ben Reese. Collected behind the net by Jackson Cowan. He'll look up that far right side with speed. Now it's Colby Peterson. He'll carry it in, forcing his way to the net, shoots and scores. He beat Douthit short side. And that's one I think Will Douthit will want to have back, as it's now 8-0 NC State. And another look at it here. Cowan up to Peterson, and then Peterson just beats Douthit short side. That's really the first one. I mentioned maybe blame Douthit a little bit for the Solomon goal. They had to look through some traffic and again go back against his body. But right there, I think if you're Douthit, you want to have that one back. And the Ice Pack will go right back on the attack again. They have been really good about scoring and then going right back to work. As Peterson carries it up the middle, leaves it along that left wall for Chris Solomon. Solomon's shot is blocked, collected though by Matt Miller. This was a line that head coach Tim Healy really liked at Nationals last year, that he felt like came into form, and wants to see what they'll do here together this year. Behind the net, Miller, pinned there by Cowan. Swept out in front, bouncing puck. Solomon over to Peterson, and he scores. Two quick ones for Colby Peterson, coming about 46 seconds apart. And it's 9-0. So 15:47 to go as the puck comes back to center ice for the face-off. And it'll be drawn back into the NC State zone, but I think we're starting to see NC State just kind of overpower North Carolina. Tar Heels don't quite seem to have the legs here to start period number 3. They'll carry it in down that left side. Heavy hitting down in that corner knocks the puck loose. Alex James pinches in to hold the zone for the Ice Pack. And now back to Monteith. Across, wrist shot, knocked down by Peterson. That went off the stick of Victor Hugo, and now the Tar Heels will clear it all the way out. Keep an eye on a couple of guys behind the play. Ian Reeves and Riley Johnson jawing with each other. And we've got an icing call as that one skittered all the way down. So we'll keep an eye on that. When the game starts to get out of hand, you start to see a little bit more pushing and shoving, a little bit more action away from the puck. We'll see if any of that boils over like it did in period number 2. These two teams don't like each other. It's been a good 5-6 years since North Carolina has beaten NC State on the ice. But there's still a good fight between these two teams whenever they meet. Back behind the net, it's Alex Robinson looking to center there. Puck deflected out to the blue line and carried out by the Tar Heels. Here comes Henry Foster looking for Mahan, just out of the reach of his teammate. And it'll be collected by Leighton Walsh on the near wall. Quickly has it knocked off his stick. Alex Robinson looking to the middle for Garrett Arini. Shut down there by Daniel Jones, passing the skate of the linesman. Will hang it up in the neutral zone. Henry Foster working to get it back. A nice job to maintain control, too. Foster into the offensive zone. Fakes the shot and then throws it right off the stick of Miles Ferrone. Now Robinson banks it off the wall and goes to chase after it. First one to it, though, is North Carolina's Daniel Jones. Shoveled up the wall. Taken back by Arini, who fans on the shot. It slides back behind the North Carolina cage. And the Tar Heels looking to break it out. Can't clear the zone, though. Held in nicely. Ricky Frosch with the hustle play there. Back behind the net. Ice Pack take it. Into the slot. Shot. Hit a stick and tipped up over top. That was a great chance there for Drew Breshingham from the point. Shot through traffic. Doesn't get to the net. But the Ice Pack still on the attack. Along that near wall. Tar Heels eventually able to get control, clear it all the way down. Don Johnson will retreat for it. He'll look through the middle, on and off the stick of Zach Robinson, who deflects it up for Drew Breshingham. Walks into the high slot. Backhander steered into the near corner by Douthit. Ice Pack still in control. Shot again patted away. Jackson Cowan with that attempt. Douthit up to the task. It's a 4-man scrum back behind the behind the UNC net. Back out in front, and the one-timer just wide. Another chance will be gloved from that far point as Douthit will hold on. Smart play by the UNC goaltenders. We'll get another look at this opportunity for NC State. Quick little pass out in front and just off the post. We had a tight angle there initially. It looks like Bressingham went right off the pipe though. 7 minutes gone here in period number 3. Still a 9-0 advantage for the NC State Ice Pack. As it's picked up by Simon Malone, turned right over. NC State with a chance in the low slot, didn't get to the net. Cowan's shot off the pads of Douthit. And North Carolina can't clear still. Turned right back around. In comes Emery, looking to the middle. Trickles across to the near side. And it'll be collected as UNC wins that battle. So Bowden. He'll absorb a check and bring it in. Looking to the middle, didn't have anybody there, and NC State clears it out. Reeves through the neutral zone for Carlson. Tip pass looking for Saboden, but he's beat to it by Matt Miller. Back for Hugo. Now Colby Peterson, 2 goals here this period. He and Zarek both looking for the hat trick. As in comes Johnson, and his shot stopped by Douthit. Rebound was there, nobody to put it on goal though. NC State continuing with just a relentless forecheck here. As it's chipped up and out, Ben Reese stops at the top of the right circle. They score! Daniel couldn't get down quick enough, and it's Brian Hogan in his first game this season, finally putting the Tar Heels on the board with 11:54 to go. Let's get another look at it here. But a nice play by Ben Reese. Slipped it through, and like I said, sometimes you just got to get it to the net. And the Tar Heels do there. Hogan with his first of the season. And it's now 9-1 as the Tar Heels break up the shutout. They're going to go back on the attack again. Ben Reese on that far side. Shouldered off the puck, has some support from Vaglia who sends it in. And NC State will look to break it out. Nice job by the Tar Heels back at their offensive blue line to slow things down. Puck trickles out into neutral ice. NC State trying to reset up into the neutral zone. Hugo for Peterson. Backhand try from James is bodied down by Douthit. And it's still NC State in control. Alex James leaves it along the wall. We got some pushing and fronting in front of the net. Pushing and shoving in front of the net, I should say. And I think they're going to take them both. This is a wise decision by the officials in a game that's pretty well in hand for NC State, trying to keep the tempers as cool as possible. And it's actually looks like it'll be the Tar Heel goal scorer, Hogan, who will head off. Looks like Peterson will be the guilty party for NC State, who heads to the box. But it will stay 5-on-5 hockey. Beeson to take the draw for the Tar Heels up against Zarek of NC State. Going to be controlled by the Tar Heels after a little scrum for the puck off the draw. Up the near side, Patrick Kramer. Throws it in on Daniel. Big rebound, he scores! Another one for the Tar Heels. This time it's Patrick Kramer who puts it home. And 2 quick goals for UNC makes it 9-2. And that is exactly what we talked about in the intermission. Just throw the puck to the net, make Daniel handle it. And right now he's having trouble with it. Another bad rebound. That's the first rebound that has come back to bite him. But a little more space on the ice here with some 4-on-4 hockey. And NC State trying to respond after giving up a couple. Still a good crowd on hand, even though the Ice Pack hold a 7-goal lead. This has been a very good start for North Carolina. Of course, still playing the Ice Pack even in this period. Maybe not. Foster off the turnover. What a finish! He picks that top left corner. Henry Foster with another one less than 40 seconds after the last, and they're coming in bunches right now for the Tar Heels. This is a great play by Henry Foster. Bit of a careless pass from Miles Ferrone, and picture perfect on the finish by Henry Foster. 38 seconds between goals. And a big one for NC State. Big hit along the blue line, and this is going to draw a penalty on North Carolina. As we'll get a second look at it here, it's going to be Foster called for the penalty. Little bit high on the hit. And so he'll head to the box for 2 minutes. It'll now be 4-on-3 for almost a minute. And if you're North Carolina, of course, in this game you're down 6, so that penalty isn't necessarily going to hurt you too much in terms of the result of this game, as the centering pass for Zarek is past him and into the near corner. But in a tight game, say you take the lead on that goal by Foster. As a shot blocked in front, another chance, sliding over. Douthit pokes it away. Nice work by Kendrick Holmes on the side against Riley Johnson to tie him up. And now Reeves trying to create something shorthanded. He'll run Zarek into the boards with a big hit in the near corner. But now a chance to come forward on an odd man rush for the Ice Pack. Into the zone, it's Solomon. Down the goal line, looking to center. That pass denied, but he'll take it right back and carry it behind. Solomon looking back for Zarek. Nice pass across for Hugo. As both teams get a man back, it's 5-on-4 hockey for the next minute. Johnson leaves it along the wall. Back up top for Hugo. Over to Solomon. Little shifty move. Couldn't get it on goal with the backhand. And NC State back to work on the power play. Solomon, top of the umbrella. Hugo tees one up. Nice save through traffic by Douthit. And he'll squeeze that one for a face-off. Well, I mentioned that this was a period that you want to win if you're the North Carolina Tar Heels. Right now they are. And just to get back to that point, talking about the penalty on Foster, I think a little bit jacked up there, get a little bit of extra adrenaline after that goal. And so a little bit over-aggressive on the hit, but you got to avoid that in tight games. You say, you kind of change the scenario up, say it was a tie game going into this third period, that goal from Foster would have given Carolina the lead, and then you put yourself down a man. That's something that head coach Jeff Volkman is not going to want to see from his team as the season wears on. Ice Pack still on the power play. Shot, they score. Had a little bit of trouble corralling it there, did Alex Robinson, but he was able to finish anyhow. And the Ice Pack answer, it's back to a 7-goal lead at 10-3. And that is now the third power play goal of the game for the Ice Pack. So we're back to full strength hockey, both teams with 5 aside. And NC State wins the faceoff, dumps it in, and we're going to have a quick penalty here. That's an easy one to call for the official right in front of him. A tripping penalty on NC State. This will go against number 18, Charles Monteith. And a chance for UNC to try and answer back after giving up the power play goal. Down to 8:07 to go in the game. 10-3 the score. Tar Heels, though, with a pretty solid period so far. 3 goals, trying to add to it here on the power play. Hogan, who put home the first goal of the period for UNC. Sweeps it across for Saboden, back up top for Foster. Along for Hogan again, skate to stick, throws it in front, tipped around and back to the near corner. It'll be chased down by Mahan. To the blue line for Foster. He'll walk the line, drags on the fake shot, now across for Saboden. He'll sweep one just wide of the near post, and the Tar Heels track it down. Hogan at the blue line. Gets it deep for Leighton Walsh. Back for Saboden. He'll hold over on that half wall. Looking over his options, gives it to Foster. Now for Hogan. Kicks it to his stick and pokes it behind the net under some pressure. Slapped around off the skate of Hogan. He'll throw it out in front. Bouncing puck collected high slot by Mahan. Threw it wide. Hogan spins one around, just missed the net with it. And the Tar Heels will keep it in. Foster down the wall for Walsh. Tipped it to the middle where it'll be stolen away by Emery Oliver. And an awkward carry off the stanchion. Kept in, though, nicely by Foster. He'll throw a shot that's tipped wide. Mahan tying up his man on the near side. Leaves it for Walsh. Drop back to Henry Foster. Foster sends it down the boards. Gets tied up with an ice pack player. And they both spill down. Down to 30 seconds left on the man advantage for UNC. Foster over for Hogan. He'll hold it along the wall. Walks it back, leaves it for Foster. Again to Hogan. He's got a shot and a great save made with the glove by Eric Daniel. And that was probably the best save we've seen from Eric Daniel. We talked about how he's looked a little bit shaky here in this one, and you got to give him probably a little bit of a break. First game back of the season, trying to get things rolling, and of course it's been intermittent action for him, which is difficult for a goaltender to try and stay in rhythm and in the flow of the game when that's the case, where you go long periods without really seeing any action and then you get hit with a flurry of shots. It can be difficult sometimes. But he made a nice save on that last play. Monteith out of the box. We're back to 5-on-5 hockey as Friedman is rubbed out in the neutral zone. NC State takes back over Monteith, who's fresh out of the box, gets tied up in his own zone, collects the loose puck, and he's knocked off it by Beeson, though. Ice Pack back in possession. Jackson Cowan pinned up against the ball in the near corner by Jones, has to force it around the other way. Kept in by Gleason. Further down low by Friedman. Jones, turnaround pass, couldn't find Kramer. Now it's Saboden. Beautiful drag move and a save made by Daniel. Backhanded out in front by Friedman. No shot for the Tar Heels, though. Gleason holding the zone, absorbs a hit there from Monteith, and NC State will take possession as the puck's knocked loose. Good forecheck, though, from the Tar Heels here. This is what we saw a lot of in the Elite Junior Profile Showcase last weekend from them. And they're back on the attack. Saboden has Daniel with him. Daniel Jones with him, that is. Simon Malone from the point. His wrist shot hits a stick, and it's caught like a pop fly by Eric Daniel. And again, a little bit of pushing and shoving between the two teams out in front of the goal. Nothing going to come from it, though. And it'll be an offensive zone face-off here for UNC. Off the draw, Saboden gets to the loose puck first, tries to push one in on goal, and it slides wide. Alex James, who's been a really good freshman here tonight, has looked really good as we have an arm up and another penalty coming. It's a trip on the way through the neutral zone. This is going to go against Graham Karen with 4:46 to play. But again, a pretty solid period from North Carolina, playing even on the scoreboard right now with NC State. Both teams with 3 goals this period. NC State trying to change that, though. Zarek looking for the hat trick right into the chest protector of Douthit, who holds on for a rebound, for a face-up. Off the draw. NC State in control again. Hugo on the near point. Down the wall, sent across, top of the circle, into the high slot, and now Johnson's shot is swallowed up by Douthit, who takes a little poke after he covers it. North Carolina not taking too kindly to that. And again, NC State controls off the faceoff. Johnson drops it back to the point for Solomon, across D to D with an open teammate in Hugo. A little pass down to Riley Johnson, who deflected it wide. Minute 22 left on the power play for NC State. Zarek back to Hugo. Again to Zarek, left circle. Throws it towards the net, hit a body in front. Nice job by Wills Kendrick Holmes to get in the way. Riley Johnson again, over for Solomon. Played across for Zarek. He couldn't get a touch to it. Had an opening there. But NC State still working on this power play. Johnson throws it to the front. Douthit got a piece of it. Now Hugo up at the blue line for the Ice Pack. Back for Zarek, across Solomon. Played through the middle. Loose puck, teed up by Hugo. Didn't get to the net. And they'll fight for it in the slot. Comes loose. Turnaround shot from Marini. Didn't get to the net. Solomon tries to backhand it in front and can't. Solomon gets it back, though, to Hugo. Up top, walks it to the high slot, takes a shot off the stick of Douthit and into the netting, back behind the goal. With that stoppage, down to 3:20 to go in the game. 34 seconds left on the power play for NC State. This game pretty well in hand. We've seen a decent stream of people starting to leave with this game pretty well decided, but good crowd on hand tonight. It's a great atmosphere to play in and a good test for the Tar Heels here early. Nice move by Foster, steps around to check and tees up a slapper that sizzles high at the crossbar. NC State breaks it out of the zone. Nice back check effort there from Leighton Walsh, who knocks the puck loose. Clearance by NC State will trickle into the North Carolina end, and it looks like a delayed offside will get whistled on NC State here as Monteith went in with the linesman's arm up. But you can see the little bit of chatting, we'll call it, back and forth between the two teams between plays. And the officials get together, and I think there's a quick conference. They're trying to determine whether the face-off will be right here at the blue line or all the way down. And it'll stay on top of the NC State, or the North Carolina blue line, I should say. NC State controls the face-off. Hugo one-hands it into the North Carolina zone. Keeps it there as well. Finds a teammate in Emery Oliver, who sweeps it behind the net. They collected by North Carolina to break out. Leighton Walsh finds David Mahan going 1-on-2 against the NC State defense. Has it knocked off his stick. Nice hit in the neutral zone by Foster as NC State tried to move up the ice. Tar Heels back in control. Mahan dropped for Carter Tanner. He's pickpocketed. In comes NC State walking through the middle. A nice save on the backhand from Zach Robinson as Douthit stands tall. .207 to go. Still a 10-3 lead for NC State. Both these teams will be in action again tomorrow as the Tar Heels, with another ACCHL matchup, they'll take on the High Point Panthers in Hillsboro. Looking to bounce back from this one here tonight, and you got to think tomorrow will be a little bit like swinging a baseball bat after you take the donut off of it. Playing a likely what it will be ranked as a top 10 team nationally here in NC State before taking on the High Point Panthers tomorrow. But again, a good third period that we've seen here from North Carolina. Seen a little bit more effective forecheck. They've been able to get in on the forecheck and make it effective. Of course, 3 goals after being held scoreless through the first 40 minutes is certainly a plus as well. And one thing that you really like to see is the fight has not left this team despite the fact that they've, been, for the most part, kind of out of this game. The game has been decided for a while. But they continue to fight, continue to battle, and they've played NC State even here in the third period. 1 minute left in this contest. NC State still in the offensive end. Riley Johnson for Arini. Tried to pitchfork it in front. Loose puck sitting in the left circle. Arini back to it. And Vaglia going to clear it out for North Carolina. Not going to have enough steam to get down for icing, so both teams will get a change. And NC State works it back up on the breakout. Zach Robinson off the wall for Emery Oliver. Looking to the middle, trying to find Breshingham. Couldn't get a stick to it, though. And it works to the near side. Down to 25 seconds to go, as it'll be brought out by Jack Gleason. Carried along now by Friedman. 2-on-1, looking for Kramer, and it's disrupted nicely by Jackson Cowan and shut down. Now Robinson again. Zach Robinson clears it out into the UNC zone. 5 seconds to go. Daniel Jones will hold on. The NC State faithful here going to get up on their feet and cheer the Ice Pack to their first win of the season. Clock runs out. It's a 3-3 tie for the third period, but a 10-3 win for NC State in the first of 4 meetings between these two teams this season. Good way to open up the Weight Competition Center for NC State. Had a great atmosphere here. Going to be a good learning experience for this North Carolina team. They're going to be able to go back, look at their weaknesses, and that's one of the good things. Of course, you never like to lose by 7, but I think if you're North Carolina, what you take away from this, you get to go back, you get to look at the film, and what NC State will do well against you is exploit your weaknesses. So a good idea of what this Tar Heel team needs to improve on as we get a look at the two teams shaking hands at the end. But the Tar Heels going to go back, reset. They've got another one coming up tomorrow against High Point. We're going to step aside. We'll have some post-game coverage coming up here in a moment, though. Final counts, NC State 10, the Tar Heels 3.
Chris Lehman back with you here at Wake Competition Center. We're through 60 minutes, and it is a 10-3 win for the NC State Ice Pack over your North Carolina Tar Heels. But again, pretty positive third period for the Tar Heels. They even things up scoring-wise that period. Both teams put in 3 goals. First of all, you get a couple, you get a little bit of confidence. That's certainly a good thing heading into the game against High Point tomorrow. But certainly, when you talk about this game, there are a lot of things to work on if you're the Tar Heels as well. And that's the good thing about playing a team like the Ice Pack this early in the season. You get some of your weaknesses exploited, and you get the opportunity as the season goes on to close those down and become a stronger team. So certainly some things to work on. One of the big things for the Tar Heels that they didn't see last weekend was they saw a little bit more pressure trying to break it out of their zone, and they're going to have to find a way to handle that, a way to get out of the zone quicker, and that's certainly something that they can work on heading into the rest of the season. But again, some real positive notes. You get a goal from Brian Hogan. Patrick Kramer knocks one home as well. So you get some guys on the score sheet there in the third period, and I think that's going to be a confidence builder for this team heading into their next contest. Again, a 10-3 win for the NC State Ice Pack over the North Carolina Tar Heels. We'll be right back, though. Head coach Jeff Volkman will join us with his thoughts on the game, and we'll wrap things up. We'll be right back here at Wake Competition Center. Chris Lehman back at Wake Competition Center, now joined by head coach Jeff Volkman of the Tar Heels after a tough 10-3 loss to the NC State Ice Pack. First of all, Coach, just get your thoughts on the game, and obviously a tough one against a pretty tough team, but what did you think of the way your team played?
Yeah, I thought we just came out with no confidence in the first. I wasn't expecting that, especially after this weekend. We were all there, we saw it, and, that really set the tone. And I said earlier, in our earlier conversation, we got to come out and we got to put the puck away first, and we needed that, and we didn't, and we just kind of fell from there.
And you take a look at how the game went too. For the first 8.5 minutes, we're able to keep it scoreless, and then the first one gets past you. But the thing that I seem to notice is a little bit of trouble just getting out of the zone. What kind of adjustments do you think you need to make, for the next time you see this team?
Yeah, it was just 100% a confidence thing. These guys, they're obviously a good hockey team, but we kind of put them up on a pedestal, and the guys were just not playing with confidence. We were throwing pucks, we weren't creating the little habits we've been working on, shoulder checks, kind of surveying the ice, and the guys weren't doing that. We were just throwing the puck, and and it cost us, and NC State saw that, and they jumped on that.
Well, you certainly seem to turn things around a little bit in the third period. You put a few in the back of the net. How did it feel, to finally get one in there, moving on to the next game?
Yeah, we were pretty confident that at one point we're going to get, in my opinion, the goalie looked a little shaky tonight, obviously first game.
but we just had trouble getting second and third chances on them, and so it was nice to get 3 there, and that helped out in the third period. We came out, we wanted to win the third period. Kind of a small win for us, but and we ended up tying that. But we're going to learn. It's game 4. We have 28 games on the docket, so we're not hitting the panic button. But NC State's got a very talented team, and we have to learn to play the way we're going to play, and we got away from that tonight.
Well, you got game 5 coming up tomorrow against High Point. It obviously can be tough to bounce back from a big loss like this. What do you want to see out of your team headed up against the Panthers tomorrow?
Yeah, I just want to get back to our game, and it's really a confidence thing at this point, and it's the mental side. Systems don't win hockey games, and we just we got to get back to winning the loose puck battles, the 50-50 battles. Wanting the puck, owning the puck possession, the little things that make us good, and get back to our forecheck, which kind of got lost a little bit, as you saw, and again, that's just that was a mental thing, and we're more than talented to play with these guys. They have a couple really good players, but the rest of the team, I feel like we can easily play with them. But yeah, I think getting back to our game tomorrow and having a good win and close out the weekend.
All right, Coach. Well, thanks for taking some time to come up and chat with us, and good luck against High Point.
Thank you.
That's head coach Jeff Volkman of the North Carolina Tar Heels. Again, they'll be in action tomorrow against the High Point Panthers in Hillsborough at the Orange County Sportsplex. That'll do it for us here at Wake Competition Center tonight. One more time, final count: NC State 10, North Carolina 3.